All right, guys. Welcome to the first ever episode 1 of the Hunters and Heroes. I am going to be your host, Byron Bepley. This is our co-host, one of the co-hosts.
Yeah, I won't be here all the time, but I am Clay. I am the media guy.
The media guy. So all the
That's
badass photos and videos that you guys see of us making, they're all coming from this amazing artiste. Our other two hosts, you will see them, our vice president, Rome Fitzpatrick, and our other amazing member of our squad, who is Nick Bishop. He is, these guys are just awesome dudes. And of course we got Miss Nova down here. Yeah, over here supporting us. So yeah, here we are.
Honestly, we have no clue what we're going to talk about today, except for kind of the mission probably behind Hunters and Heroes, why we're doing it, what we're doing, what we expect from you. No, just kidding, nothing. We don't expect anything from you. And
to benefit.
Yeah, and then just kind of cover the bases. We'll keep this quick, sweet, and lovable, so you guys don't hate us on the first episode.
And that's right. So basically what we did, and this kind of all derived from my story, so if you follow me at all, you guys kind of know a little bit about my story, and I'll give you a Reader's Digest version. Did a lot of time in special operations, left the service, like every veteran, did contracting, did all the different things, and kind of started getting lost in my way. Had a suicide attempt, and I kept it all bottled up inside. Didn't want to share it to anybody because of embarrassment and a lot of different things, and had a very dear friend of mine kill himself, and I pretty much was the straw that broke the camel's back, and I wanted to start something that was going to really tell the story of people, because when I tried to kill myself and when I went through my turmoil and all the different things, I felt I was alone. I didn't feel like anyone would understand. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a podcast and a TV show of sorts that brought us into a very awesome venue, hunting, God's country, and also simultaneously tell these awesome stories of trials and triumphs in a venue and a background that was a lot more palatable, because we've all watched hunting shows, yet they're the same thing. We stalk the animal, we hunt the animal, we kill it, and it's the end of the story. Where I wanted it to be that plus their personal story. And so we started a nonprofit called Hunters and Heroes, and that is exactly what we're going to do. We're not going to always be talking about the doom and gloom. We want to do gear reviews and talk about our personal hunts and stories and fun stuff and wild, crazy things that have happened in all of our personal lives. Rome and Nick are avid thermal hog hunters, as am I. Clay's getting into the hunting game, and of course he does a lot of media for a lot of the big companies that we actually purchase from across the network.
And some of the companies that actually sponsored Hunters and Heroes so far.
Yes, and some of those companies are Seekins rifles, which that's what you see us hunting with. We have Vortex Optics, and our badass camo that you guys are seeing us wear is sponsored by King's Camo.
This is camo?
Yeah, I'm not wearing any of it. Actually, I am actually wearing a King's Camo. I'm wearing a t-shirt right now. So, guys, we've got some pretty amazing, and if also, you guys are out there, go ahead.
Also, Wiley X is on board. Yeah, they're going to be sending glasses too.
I haven't finished my list.
Oh, you said, well, guys, let's. Yeah, sorry.
Well, no,
but Wiley X is on board.
And Wiley X sponsor. I don't even have my glasses on my head right now.
It's nighttime.
So it is nighttime.
That would be silly.
Yeah, I wear my sunglasses at night.
Yeah.
Key music.
Yeah, hater blockers. Oh, man. But yeah, no, we've got a lot of good people on board helping us out.
It's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah. It all moved a lot faster. Byron came to me, 6 months ago? Had me make the website, had me make the logo, and we have hunts coming up in September that are.
Yeah, we have a full-blown production that's going to be in our Q1 with 3 amazing stories that I am so excited to get out there. Yeah. It is going to be phenomenal. We have the Hero Ranch that is giving up their venue. Sorry, guys, I'm still recovering from the SHOT Show. But yeah, they've offered up their venue, and we had a amazing donor come in and want this entire thing done. So we've got some pretty awesome people. And oh my God, I forgot one of our I can't believe we forgot one of the sponsors.
Was it Half Face Blades?
Oh yes, it was my favorite.
Yeah, we get ahead of ourselves sometimes.
We do get ahead of ourselves,
and we're together so much we just start trying to finish each other's sentences unsuccessly.
But yeah, so without further ado, Andy makes one of the most amazing products on the market. These pieces of art, as I like to call them, are none is the same. But they produce hunting blades and kitchen blades and tomahawks and hatchets, and they are just absolutely beautiful works of art. If you guys have not followed Half Face Blades, you're wrong. So you need to go get yourself right.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. If they're following and watching this, with our 82 followers, yeah, they've probably seen Half Face Blades.
Yeah, probably so. So I'm hoping for the ones that have.
If Half Face Blades shares this, follow us.
Yeah, right. Yeah, absolutely. So, but yeah, Andy Orbito, the owner of Half Face Blades, and his team just put out an amazing product, guys, and go check them out. They will be providing knives for each and every one of our hunters as we go along on these adventures, and you guys follow and watch these awesome productions from all the way to I believe we have in PA, and then we're going to be doing some stuff out west. And
we've got some stuff sooner. Our bigger hunts are in September. Don't we have some turkey or something?
Yeah, we have an event that's coming up fairly soon in the beginning of April for spring turkey. So that'll be in the panhandle of Florida. So we're going to be doing that, and we're going to be announcing sponsors for that shortly.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty pumped about it. I just finished a Nilgai hunt in Ports Manfield, Texas.
We have a little review coming out probably right around the same time as this episode will come out that we just did earlier today.
Yeah, a pair of boots that are absolutely astoundingly amazing.
Mm-hmm.
High boot made by Dido. They're a European company out of the UK that just kills it. I mean, I was actually highly impressed. I'm really picky about what I put on my wheels, and they're light. They keep your feet dry. I crossed a shallow lake, an extremely shallow lake, and my feet stayed dry.
It's more like a pond if it's that shallow.
Pond? I don't know, man. It
was huge, though. I saw the photo. It was massive lake.
It was like, I was terrified going across. Like, I'm going to step and it's...
Didn't you walk all the way around it?
Yeah, I did. So I took this shot on this Nilgai. I don't know, man. I think it was like about a 375-yard, 400-yard shot. And at least that's what my distance was on my rangefinder, and then, or what I estimate on my rangefinder, and then also on the Onyx hunt and app. And I'm like, man, I can't get across this. The sun hadn't fully come up yet. It had just breached it, but I couldn't see in the water, And so I was looking at it and it's like, oh, I can walk all the way around, and there's this really short spot. So, I was going to like hold my rifle over my head and Vietnam it across, and I get across, and I got on the radio, and I was like, hey, I called up the guide who was in a boat. They basically just drop you off on these like 1,000-acre islands, and you go and do your thing. And it was so funny. And he's like, yeah, man, just walk across the watery area. And I'm like, what do you mean? It's a lake, And he's like, no, it's really, really shallow. And I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I just walked 3 miles all the way around this entire lake, and I could have just walked across. And, well, what I didn't calculate was the 145-pound mainframe ruck, which, by the way, again, Eberly stock, they're not official sponsors, but they have sponsored us in regards to piecemealing equipment for guys and stuff. And you guys want to check out a ruck that can do the job, go check out that mainframe. Yep. And I had to get it. And when you load that ruck down and get in soft mud, the 2 inches you normally sink turns into like 6 to 7. I was like so scared I was going to lose a boot. I didn't, but
yeah. Yeah, I haven't done that yet. I've hunted hogs with them, and that's about it. Well, I've hunted hogs a lot, but that's about it.
Yeah, you've hunted lots of hogs.
Yeah, I've done some hog stuff. I've done some fun hog, night vision, thermal.
Yeah.
That's like the only way I've hunted hogs. I've only hunted hogs with night
Which
vision.
Which usually like regular hunters want to hunt that way just for that experience.
Yeah, no,
it's definitely cheating, but
yeah. It's never a fair fight. Not for those dumb hogs.
Yeah.
No, yeah, only thermals and only night vision I've ever used. That's all I've ever hunted hogs with.
I'm bougie.
Yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, no, I've always wanted to hunt, but I was never brought up in a house that hunted. Not that we were pro gun. My dad's always been owned guns. He was a federal flight deck officer after 9/11, and we just never got into hunting. And so now here I am, turning 37. Well,
that's kind of what we want to do, because like Hunters and Heroes, it's not veteran centric, guys. I don't want this to be something like, PTSD, life turmoil, isn't, just because of the guy who's been to combat. I having worked in an ER, having worked in many different fields, as you guys know, PTSD comes from everywhere. I've met nurses. Your wife used to be a nurse that have unbelievable turmoil. I've met flight nurses who have stories that would make any veteran cringe.
Police officers.
Yeah. I know of one that you also know that got some stories that would make your skin crawl. Firefighters, teachers. A hero is not specific to being a military veteran, and so I wanted to create this organization to tell the stories of all those who've had extreme trials, extreme triumphs, and tell everyone how they got there into that bad situation and how they got themselves out. So if you're out there and you know somebody that wants to get into hunting or go on an experience like that, please have them reach out to us. We don't have an official process yet, but we will. We're going to have a little document and all that stuff, and we're going to figure it out. And she's decided she's going to leave set.
She doesn't know what she's doing.
So yeah, reach out to us. Let us know. And if there's things that you guys want to see, reviews, if there is specific hunts or something that you would like to see come out of Hunters and Heroes, because guess what's come out of us so far? Nah.
We're back.
Okay. So as many of you guys know, I am a dog guy. So yeah, my every day is dogs. I am BTS Canine, so we do like service dogs and protection dogs and all that stuff. And then we also do, we have another nonprofit called Rescue 22 Foundation, and that foundation provides service dogs to veterans at no cost to the veterans. So myself and John Devine of Devine Canine out in California, and then two other awesome humans, Angela Connors and Jonathan Belton, are all on the board there. But yeah, we got half the board here.
Technically speaking, yeah, we do.
Yeah, half the board, almost half.
Yeah, I guess I could tell them what I do, I guess.
Yeah, you probably should.
I guess, yeah. I own Close Quarters Media Group, or CQM Group. And I also own ARC Division with some other people. We make handgun parts. Pew, 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 pew. And we're coming out with some new things, hopefully. And then I'm on here, and I'm kind of all over the place. ADHD is a vile thing, so
especially for entrepreneurs.
Yeah, so I'm all over the place all the time. But yeah, I do media for a majority of the firearm industry. It's easier just to say that than name people. So,
right, by show.
But yeah, we have a lot of fun doing it. I use Byron a lot because he's somewhat handsome.
Kinda. Fat right now.
And he almost knows how to handle. I'm still working with him on handling firearms correctly, but we're getting there. So
yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there. So yeah, heck, man, I'm starting a ranch right now. That's the biggest, latest, greatest on my line.
He is starting a ranch, and he's near death every week.
Yeah, well, Lord, that's my horses almost killed me twice. One and unintentional. Well, they've all been unintentional. It's mostly been my inexperience. And
that's not even inexperience. Having a horse fall over on you in a lake kind of is a.
I was trying to save him from what he thought was dry ground.
Yeah.
So long story short, had my horse maybe like a day, 2 days, and I was riding him, and he tripped. I came off. No big deal. He was like, oh man, I'm in a hayfield, so I'm going to decide. He was like, I just don't want to be caught. I was like, all right, cool. So I was going to go get his treats, which he loves. And then there's this like high grass. Well, my pond was being dredged because it's got a bunch of high grass that grew in it. And instead of, he just ran directly into this sloth of despair. And so it then became the scene of Never Ending Story and the boy trying to pull his horse out. I'm up there getting the treats. My wife's running up, screaming. I'm like, oh my God, something bad happened to my daughter, so my stomach sinks. She's like, no, your horse is in the pond. And I'm like, oh, well, he's an idiot. I'm like, he's out there swimming around. That's what I think. I show up, and Becky, who's like my right
hand
woman in regards to almost all my businesses. It's like Elena and Becky. They're like always there, right? And I'm like, where's the horse? And she like just points, and all I see is his head. And I'm like, oh my God. And I immediately pull everything out of my pockets. I run into this sloth of despair. Everyone's screaming at this point, don't do that. And I'm pulling him out. I don't know how I pulled this 1,000-pound creature to the shore, but I'm moving him. I'm oofing him. He at one point rolls onto me, takes me to the bottom. I come to the surface. I finally get squeezed out, and now I've got footing, but he can't get his footing, and he's at this point exhausted. This is like a 30-minute, 45-minute ordeal. She gets maneuvers the side-by-side with the winch, which, whoa, saving grace. We get it on. We end up breaking the saddle trying to get him up. We finally get it to just to give him a little bit more, I attached it to his halter, poor guy, but we're pulling him by his neck. So I'm like, I'm going to kill my horse. Well, we finally get him where he needs to be, and we get him up on shore, and his name's Goose, and then Goose just lays there on the shore. I'm like, my horse is dead. He's like going out, and I'm like, oh my God. Like, I
just bought the horse.
Not even 48 hours into this thing. And I'm sure all you horse people out there are going to be like critiquing me. So by all means do it, because it's well deserved.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he just jumps up like nothing's wrong. He had a little scratch on his leg. And then when we originally bought the horse, like, he's not a cuddler. He doesn't like getting scratches. Bro, he sees me. That dude's got his head over my shoulder. He's like, bro, he and I are like, I was so emotionally attached out of that. And he and I like are good and bonded hard. Yeah. Now it's just my inexperience,
dude.
That is,
I don't know. I love the idea. I'm allergic to hay, so I touch a horse, I swell up unless I'm like pre-medicated. And I love the idea of having horses. Like, I would love to have a ranch and have horses, but I rode one last year in Wyoming, and it was the first day anybody had ridden it since all winter. It had been put up for winter, and I got on it. I was like the third person. They were like, Clay, don't get on the horse. We've all like, he's pissed off, right? Don't get on him. And I was like, oh, well, I took pictures of you assholes on the horse. I want a picture on the horse. So I was like, I'm going to do it. So I get up on it. I got some cool pictures. But I rode like maybe 10 feet, and then it was like,
nope,
I'm going to yeet you off. And it started bucking like full blown.
But those photos came out awesome. Yeah. They look rad.
Oh, I'll throw them up. But it was full blown bucking. And they start yelling, pull. So I start pulling the reins, and he stops. And you see, like, there's a picture where I have him and his head sideways and his teeth are showing. He looks angry as hell. And then all of a sudden actually it was a female. She just dumps me into the fence and just plops me over. Luckily, she didn't crush me. I jump off. I'm laughing, but deep down inside, I'm crying because of fear. But like in one of the pictures, I'm like, my hat flew off. My cowboy hat flew off. And somehow I catch it with one hand while I'm being bucked, hanging on to the reins with one hand. And there's a picture of me with my hat way out here, pulling, and I'm laughing. Oh, and I look like a cowboy.
I'm kind of excited,
but I was not a cowboy.
For Nick and Rome to watch the episode, because they're just going to be on the other end laughing,
dude.
And you guys are going to love this, because Nick's from Texas. Rome is like country boy from all get out. Like I think he's from Arkansas. And, oh, dude, when I told him I was getting a ranch and cows and starting a grass-fed beef company, he's like, "What do you know about cows?" And I was like, "Well, I grew up working on a cattle farm and working with horses, And then she's just like, oh, here we go. But it's like, you know me, I was like, I can do anything. And anyone who knows me, I literally just do everything.
Yeah.
And I figure it out as I go. So it'll be successful, promise. So,
yeah. Yeah, there's people out there that I haven't had anything fail yet, knock on wood.
Yes.
Nothing I've started has failed yet. But, and there's been a few things, but I mean, it's exhausting.
It is.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot today in the car. It's exhausting, just going all the time.
Always. Being an entrepreneur is one of those things where you throw a lot of mud at the wall and see what sticks. You kind of let what doesn't stick fall away, and then you just keep fostering the things that do. And those relationships, the biggest thing I found to be one of the most successful things in building really a nonprofit, as well as, and it all scratches each other's back. So, you know, my profit side, my nonprofit side, because, you know, those relationships help thrive the other things.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of, it all meshes, you know, and it's really neat because, you know, if you're a shitty person, you're just not going to be successful.
Yeah. Yeah, like the entrepreneurship is not for the lazy, that's for sure.
No, it's not. It's not for the weak or faint of heart.
Yeah, lots of late nights, and like I have 2 young kids right now. Byron's got young kids, but I got 2 young kids right now that take everything out of me, and I still have to keep going. It's just this is not stop.
You don't get a break, you know. And
then we were like, we're so busy. What are we doing with our lives? Let's start a nonprofit.
That's it. But this is a labor of love.
Yeah.
You know, we want these stories to be told, and we want you guys out there to help and contribute. So if you guys are out there and you're guys like, how can we help? We're always looking for
strippers.
So many. Mostly male strippers.
Yeah. No. Only exclusively.
No, we're looking for sponsors, fiscal sponsors. We're looking for product sponsors.
We're looking for heroes.
We're looking for heroes.
Yep.
Most
importantly.
Yeah, most importantly, heroes with a great story.
But but when we name the sponsors, you know what's cool is that these sponsors are going to be supplying the heroes with gifts after the hunt, and I'll be doing the media for the hunt, trying to turn each hunt into a mini episode of sorts. To tell the story, get their story out there, and to inspire others. And some people might not even be over their PTSD, but we're helping try to reconnect them with the wild, because now, you know, we were talking about the other day that there's nothing more gratifying than working with your hands and like doing stuff. Like, I love woodworking. Not going to start a business doing it because I'm not good at it, but nothing's more gratifying than doing like ranching.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you can sit behind a computer all day, make thousands and thousands of dollars a day doing tech stuff, but nothing is more gratifying than getting your hands dirty and doing something.
Dude, it's so true. I mean, and really, you know,
it reconnects you.
It does. And I mean, for me, when I was keeping everything bottled inside, it was really eating me. And when I was finally able to, and I actually kind of like did a mini tell-all on the Big Energy podcast with Tiffany and Angie last year in SHOT Show, and the amount of outpouring of people going, there needs to be more of this, and hundreds of people reached out to me, and I know a lot of people reached out to them. I was like, I need to start telling this story, you know, because, you know, my dearest friend Neil Curry killed himself, and that broke me. That it was the straw that broke the camel's back. He was the friend that went over my friends that were killed in combat. And I was like, I'm done. I'm not going to, you know, everyone knew I did suffer to some extent, but nobody knew the extent. And so telling that story, and then what was even more flabbergasting was then you took me on an ayahuasca retreat.
I did do that.
He did do that, and that was life-changing, which is another side of the Hunters and Heroes that we're excited to announce that I might as well.
Yeah, we're going to try. Yeah.
We're going to be announcing a retreat, for an ayahuasca retreat, for alternative medicine, obviously, for people who need it. And we'll announce those dates, and then we'll get you guys and we'll give you all the information on that. But life-changing. Like, I cannot begin to tell you suppressed memories that I was able to deal with that I remember now but don't bother me. I have memories that I do remember that did bother me, that don't bother me. And my ability to cope with things is...
Its ability to fix PTSD in military, well, in everybody, but specifically military service members is incredible. Because I was at a point where I was so burnt out and just dead to the world. Like, I went and did it my first time, and it like reignited my life. Like I had just kind of given up. I was just coasting through life. Nothing really gave me joy anymore. Right. I didn't want to do anything new. I didn't want to do anything at all. And I was drinking too much. And now, you know, I went and did ayahuasca again with Byron, took him. And ever since then, I'm probably over 7 months sober. It was like 7 months ago.
Oh yeah.
So I stopped drinking. And I've watched it fix tons of people. And, you know, back to the Neil Curry thing, we were talking about that in the car earlier. We brought it up and I said, you know, it's just so crazy when you see guys like this that could be helped by ayahuasca. Because I looked at Neil from the outside. I didn't know him well. I'd met him a few times. And I was like, he seems like this unbelievable guy. And he was an unbelievable guy, but I was like, his life is just incredible, but deep down inside, you never know what somebody's working through.
Yeah.
And you know, but like I said, I've seen this alternative medicine help a lot of people.
It literally rebuilds your brain.
Yeah.
I mean, it reconnects your, excuse me. It reconnects your neurosynaptors, all that stuff.
I was actually, even deeper than that, and I can't. It's weird how it ties in. But I was having severe back problems, lower back problems. I'd hurt my back at the gym, and I'd been going to the chiropractor. I'd been going to a massage therapist, doing everything. I did the ayahuasca retreat with you, where I came back and I didn't drink. But while I was doing it, my body was forcing me to do these weird stretches on the ground. Like you're on the ground and you're half in, you're half out. You're completely aware of everybody around you. If you look at Byron, he's smiling at you like a goon, or somebody over there smiling at you, like you're there, like you know what's going on, but you're working like nobody bothers you. You're just kind of in your own little thing. And I was doing I was doing these like weird stretches like on the ground. I'm like, ugh, and like doing that stuff. And then it was like, my body like was like, there was a voice. It was like, yeah, you're good now, man. And I haven't had a back problem since.
That's wild.
Yeah. Which is bizarre.
Yeah. It is definitely a very bizarre experience. We had, you know, one of the things that was really interesting was how in and out you were, and how you come back and then you go back in. And by going back in, you're going on this journey that like literally is reconnecting your brain. You're making amends with family members. You're making amends with yourself. You're making
dead family members even.
Yeah, dead family members as well. And you're people you didn't even know that died, that you saw die, that may have been innocents in combat like I had. That you felt responsible for, or you could have done more for, and you actually got to observe me going through one of those, and
he got to observe me going through them.
Yeah, it was
not every night's a good. They say it's about 1,000 hours of therapy jammed into one weekend, which is about exactly it. Because they say you can either go to church, the hospital, or school. So you're learning about yourself. Church, everything's happy, you're good, everything's like, church is awesome. Last night was church.
Yeah.
And then hospitals, like, where like you face some stuff. And when you face that stuff, like my first time, I went into like this like hell loop where I felt like I was in hell. I literally felt like I was in hell. And I felt like I was there for years. And I was like, why did I drink this stupid tea? Why did I do this to me? I'm never getting out. And it was like this cycle until I was able to face it and talk to someone. Like I went and found Tim. He's the owner of Grunt Style. He's the one who through the Grunt Style Foundation took me my first time. Right. And then I went to him and I just talked to him about it. And then like this load was like lifted off my shoulders and I was like, oh, whoa. And then I came home and my wife was like freaked out at how
mine was too,
how different I was. I was like, she's like, you want to go to Disney? And like, I hate Disney. And I was like, let's go. Well, let's go to the beach. I hate the beach too. I'm like, let's do whatever you want to do. I'm here for it. So
my family was the same way. I was a lot more there. I was more present. Still there. You know, there's some things that have come back, 7 months later. But each time you go, I feel like it's you learn something more. That was your second time. Yeah. So from my observation, your first time, now you stopped. You didn't necessarily stop drinking the first time.
No, I did stop drinking the first time, but then I slowly started to introduce it, thinking like I can handle this now. And then it took over me again. Right. And then this time I came back and I was like, I can't drink, and I haven't. And the second, third month were hard, but no, it's not bad now. But yeah, no, it's the most bizarre thing you could possibly do.
I'm excited for number 2.
Yeah, and the next time you go, it's not the first time is like you're connected with some other thing, and so the second time you go, I feel like when I left, I wasn't as like, it was still a great experience, but when I left, it wasn't as like the first time. I was like, whoa,
yeah.
And then the third, and I know a guy, one of the guys that mentored me after, he went and lived in the Amazon for like, I want to say it was like 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And did it almost every day.
Wow.
Like he said he was doing it nonstop. And I was like, oh, I can't imagine like working through that much stuff all the time. Whew. The enlightenment's real though.
Yeah, it is for sure. But yeah, guys, we are super excited to introduce you guys to the Hunters and Heroes podcast and YouTube channel.
And when you catch Rome on here, you guys gonna be talking about bow hunting. You're gonna be talking about other stuff. This is just kind of us.
Yeah, this is just kind of the the introduction. But Rome is one of the most humble dudes I've met. He is a bow tech and a professional hunter and guide, and just one of the dudes that the amount of knowledge that this man has in regards to the outdoors, hunting, bows, it is astounding. So you guys out there that have these questions, I can assure you that Rome has the answer to that unequivocally, as well as Nick. Nick is a gunsmith and does all of the same things. He is a phenomenal guide and also hunter, and he's a hoot. He's just.
When we went hunting with thermals, I looked at his rifle. I was like, "Is that an M1 Garand?" He's like, "Yeah." Like, what the?
Yeah.
Why?
Dude, Nick's wild. I love him.
I was like, why?
And it's such a small world because my best friend from Ranger Regiment is used to work with him in Texas, and I sent him a photo of us, and he's like, "Is that Nick?" And I'm like, "Yeah, how do you know Nick?" He goes, "Oh, I knew him in Texas at this place and that." I was like, "No way."
Yeah.
And I'll let Nick talk about that on one of the episodes, but it's pretty awesome small world. But guys, we are super excited about this. We're excited to have you guys along with us for this journey.
We're excited to help you.
Yes, we're excited to tell these stories. Again, you guys can check us out online at www.huntersandheroes.org. You can find us on Instagram.
Hunters and Heroes.
Hunters and Heroes.
Yep.
And you can find us on our personal Instagrams as well.
Yep. But that one you're going to have to look for.
Yeah, you got to find those.
I'm hard to find because I'm shadow banned.
Okay. The manfluencer.
Oh, no. Now they got to find me.
Yeah. So, anyways, all right, guys. Well, we're going to end it here.
Yep.
And again, thank you so much for
listening
and watching. So, have a wonderful rest of your whatever it is.
Morning.
Keep hunting.
Never stop hunting.
Oh yeah, it's never stop hunting.
Yeah. I did actually. That was accident, but it was a good slogan.
It is a good
never
slogan.
stop hunting.
Yeah, never stop hunting.
Go buy the merch.
Yeah, go buy the merch. God, we were supposed to exit.
Yeah, all right.
Wonderful exit. We're gonna have to learn this.
No, watch. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Never stop hunting. My face is so covered. I'm smiling.